Attention property owners and hosts. If you want to keep those 5-star cleanliness ratings soaring and your guests smiling, listen up. Introducing Turno, your ultimate solution for simplifying and automating the entire cleaning management process. Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to high-quality, timely turnovers that guarantee those top-rated guest reviews.
With Turno, you can automatically schedule, manage, and pay your short-term rental cleaners, ensuring a seamless and efficient operation.
And here's the best part. Turno's Cleaner Marketplace boasts over 55,000 vetted short-term rental cleaning pros ready to elevate your property management game.
Turno lets you manage cleaner performance with features like auto scheduling synced directly to your booking calendar, auto payments, photo checklists, problem reporting, and even inventory management.
But that's not all. Keep your cleaner communications organized with centralized chat and photo sharing, all in one convenient place. Plus, they've made on-the-go management a breeze with separate mobile apps tailored for both hosts and cleaners. And just in case you need a lifeline, Turno's live 24/7 customer support is always at your service. Because at Turno, they're not just a platform, they're your partner in success.
And there's a special treat for the listeners of the Alex and Annie podcast. When you try Turno and its Cleaner Marketplace, you'll receive a $150 Amazon gift card exclusively as our thank you to you.
So here's how it works. New users can sign up at turno.com/AlexandAnniePodcast. Search for a cleaner in your area, connect with one or more, and then complete a marketplace cleaning. Once you see how easy and simple cleaning management can be, you'll love how much time and money you save, not to mention no more cleaning headaches. Now back to the show. Welcome to Alex and Annie, the Real Women of Vacation Rentals. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie.
And we are joined today with Assaf Karmon, who is the CEO and founder of Turno. Assaf, it's so good to see you today.
Oh, ladies, thank you for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here.
We are thrilled to have you. And we talked off camera, but we're going to go through it on the show today. Your product is just amazing. And so we've been really excited to have you on. We're excited that you've come on as a sponsor. We're excited to tell your story. So I think the way we want to get started is, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, your journey, and how you came to create Turno?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, I was hosting on Airbnb, kind of small time, but I was having a really hard time staying organized and staying on top of who is going to come to clean, when they're going to come to clean, just communicating with the cleaners and making sure they do a good job, and got really stressed doing that. I got into hosting thinking this was going to be kind of a nice passive income stream. I'll just be like looking at my bank account and seeing all that money flowing in. But, the reality was that it was a lot more work than I'd imagined, and particularly the backside of the house, which is managing the turnovers, making sure everything is clean and ready. And, the timing of it was just really stressing me out. So my professional training, I'm a software engineer. I saw this great opportunity to, build some technology to streamline that part of my business and just make it really easy for myself. So got to work building a nice app, make it all work together. Initially, just tackling the scheduling piece, but then realized that really a harder part of the problem is really finding people who know what they're doing, which was really difficult. So then we added kind of the marketplace component to the Turno app to help you find cleaners. And, initially it was just where I lived in Hawaii, but now it's kind of worldwide. You can find cleaners everywhere where there are Airbnbs.
It's incredible. I mean, it's such a needed service. I was describing it to somebody the other day. It's almost like the Uber of cleaning, right? You're connecting the two sides of the business there. And that's probably the number one thing that we hear when we go in these different markets, is just that workforce is really hard, and it's hard to coordinate. It's hard to find the workers, and then to be able to, actually do this. And for some people, make it a semi-passive business, but for others that really want to excel and create a great guest experience, it's such an important part of the process.
Yeah. You know what? I like it when people say Uber of cleaning, but with one distinction. We make sure that you have the same cleaner every time. So there isn't this issue of just having to train new people all the time. It's just one person or two people that you continuously work with, and they know your property, they know what to do, and that knowledge is retained.
The one thing that I find is fascinating, so having been in property management myself, is the hiring and training of staff is really challenging. It's the HR process. and the vetting of a cleaner. When you started out, did you have any sense of what that would entail and how you would go about it? And I would imagine that you have to set up different kind of standards or processes in different states because there's going to be different laws. Am I correct? I might be wrong on that.
Yeah. So, when it comes to engaging someone for cleaning a vacation rental, what you really want to know is, are they aware of the timeliness of it, right? Like how important it is to be on time and what the consequences are for not showing up
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
or just being late. And you also want to know that they've done this before. So the beautiful thing in Turno is that you can see the reviews that other hosts gave that cleaner, right? Because cleaners on our platform, they serve multiple hosts, and you can see the reviews that those hosts left for them. And if you know that, then you can work with them with confidence, knowing that they know what they're doing, that other people with similar businesses to yours are having a good experience with them. And then, on our end, we collect background checks against every cleaner on our platform. They submit references from other hosts that we check. We make sure that you're dealing with people who know what they're doing and are also held accountable by our review system.
Yeah, I think the accountability part that's huge for this. And also, we were talking a couple of weeks ago with some of your staff, and they said that the way that it works, I mean, the host is able to actually put in photos of how everything it should be in the home, right? So that they have a playbook of what they're supposed to go by. And I mean, that just makes it so much better from an accountability standpoint.
Oh, yeah. So the beauty of it is that, we built this software platform that you can create checklists that are very detailed, and you can go room by room. This is what you need to do. And you can say, oh, for this checklist item, actually, please take a photo so that I know that it was done and that I have evidence in case there are issues with the guests. Unfortunately, some guests are difficult and, are seeking refunds and discounts, and they'll say, oh, this wasn't clean, or I didn't have this or that, or this wasn't the listing. They've learned to game the system. So what really helps to deal with that is just having time-stamped photos.
Yeah.
Once you get that one refund request, then you'll be like, okay, I'm going forward, make sure I
Something's got to change.
of all these things, so that you can go into the resolution center and be like, okay, this is actually not true. You can create these custom checklists. You can also create inventory lists. So ask your cleaner basically to let you know if any consumables are missing, towels are missing, batteries, whatever it is you provide your guests that you can track. And then we have an automatic payment system. So whenever they're done cleaning, they'll get paid automatically. So there's no need to invoice. There's no need to calculate how long they were there or all that stuff. So it all just happens very, very seamlessly. And what I like to say is, we want people to operate by exception, meaning just create your script, create your playbook. Things will happen based on your playbook. And then if there's an exception, you're notified, and then you can step in. And hopefully, as you are gaining more and more experience and you're creating more elaborate checklists and more detailed operations, then the exceptions are going to be fewer and fewer. And then you can really arrive at, this state of passive income.
Yeah, that's excellent. From a technology standpoint, tell us a little bit about that. I know you're connected to just about all the softwares that are out there, but that's got to have been probably the biggest part of building the business, has just been getting all those connections in place.
Yeah, no, it's very important that we're connected to everyone in the industry so that things are really seamless. Because this is what we really about, is about operating your business seamlessly and arriving at that state of passive. So we're connected through partnerships with Airbnb, with all your property management systems, which means that, once you click that button in our system that connects you to Airbnb or your property management system, then we can see when the guests are there, and then we can create the cleaning projects, and we can dispatch them to your cleaners, and you don't have to do anything. So when someone books your place, cleaning projects are created, they're assigned to cleaners, and then you only have to do something in case, cleaners can't make it or something like that. So very important to have connectivity and for things to work seamlessly with all the other tools that you're working with. Oh yeah, we're really proud of this partnership with Airbnb that also now allows you to see the cleaning reviews that the guests leave against your cleaners. So if your guest left a poor cleaning review, we can tie that back to whoever cleaned before that guest arrived.
Okay.
Good point.
You have 20 properties, kind of hard to keep track of like the reviews and then who was cleaning and which property. So we make it really easy to see how the guests evaluate your cleaners.
I think that's an excellent part of it, because I think a lot of times you think forward, like what is the clean going to be after the stay, but you're not thinking about what is it going to look like for the next guest coming in. So I don't think that cleaners generally get that kind of feedback. So that's probably a good thing. When you set up a new market or you go into a new market, so you started in Hawaii where you are, you obviously, you went into other markets. How long does it take you to get enough cleaners in a market? And I guess, how do you assess what that looks like? Do you just need one person that needs, one operator, one unit that needs a cleaner before you say we're in this market? Or do you just generally try to source as many markets as you can? What does that look like?
As things are right now, we have cleaners in every market in the US.
Wow.
Our coverage is somewhat lesser in Europe and other parts of the world, but we're getting there. But yeah, early on, if let's say you search for cleaners somewhere where we didn't have cleaners, and you just didn't find them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that's not the case. I don't know if you guys remember, but I don't know, 10 years ago, they didn't have like Uber in every city.
Hard to imagine, right?
But now it's there. So luckily now this infrastructure of a cleaner network is available everywhere in the US. And I'm seeing this more and more now. People that are operating short-term rentals completely remote, right? So you live in North Carolina and you have a unit there. You have a unit in Panama City, maybe another one in Maui, and you're operating it remotely, but you have kind of your boots on the ground through Turno.
I think that's where, the reviews and actually being able to pick the right cleaner for your property, and probably you're building a relationship with that cleaner, right? That person they are your boots on the ground. They are the first line of defense. They probably pick up when there's maintenance issues as well. They're seeing things that the owner, if they don't live in that area, certainly that they're not seeing. So the value and making sure that you have somebody that you can trust like this is so important if you're remote.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We built the platform in a very flexible way so that not only can you find people on our marketplace, you can also bring your own people. So you can mix and match cleaners from our marketplace and people that you already work with, your cousin, your nephew, like cleaner that you've had a previous relationship with, your maintenance person, your lawn care person. They can all work through Turno. So you can mix and match, and you can augment your existing team with our marketplace.
I noticed that you had 55,000, is that correct? 55,000 vetted cleaners through your platform, which I don't know. I know that's not a big number in terms of like how many vacation rentals there are out there, but 55,000 is a lot of cleaners to have in your system to go through.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cleaners, and it's worldwide. And we have like hundreds of cleaners a day that we process.
How do you find that? What does that look like from an acquisition standpoint of getting the cleaners actually onto the platform?
So it was initially, it was hard, but now it's really kind of taken a life of its own. And, for cleaners, it's really a no-brainer. There's no risk on their end. They sign up, they do their background check, they provide their references. If they find work, good. If they don't, then, maybe they've wasted a little bit of time, but we don't charge them for access. There's really no risk for them. And the word travels, and we're happy that they trust us. And, for us, they are customers in the same way that the hosts is. We are here to help them build businesses. And, the most beautiful moment for us is when we meet someone who's like, hey, I've been using Turno for, 3 years or 2 years, 1 year, and I've been able to build an independent business. I now have hired people and kind of created financial independence for myself and for my family. That's so rewarding to hear that.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah. To have that fulfillment from what you're doing, that you're enabling many people, the hosts to be able to run their businesses, but also the cleaners to be able to find work and have, good livelihood doing this as well. It's great.
It's hard work. The people who are successful in Turno have a couple of qualities. One, they are reliable, they're consistent, they're honest, they play by the rules. And if they do all of that, then they just like bubble up through our review system, and they're able to get more customers and then hire their own people. And it's hard work, but it's rewarding, and people can really be successful.
One thing that we see a lot with a lot of the property management softwares that are out there, a lot of them don't have really good cleaning maintenance within the platform. And so they use external tools to be able to do a lot of things. This Turno essentially is, it replaces the need to do that in a lot of, or to have an external tool, because this is actually getting the people and then being able to house the process. So I think that's a unique part of it also, that, obviously it's a very slick mobile app. So, that's easy for everybody to use within the field. A lot of the legacy property management softwares do not have anything that's slick as far as apps like that. So from a, usability standpoint, I think that probably helps quite a bit as well.
Yeah, so we are actually connected with all the PMSs, with the exception of a few that are very small, that you can connect Turno to your PMS, and then you can enjoy using our mobile app in conjunction with your PMS. We make it possible for you to either work with us alone or through your PMS.
Oh, that's great. What happens? So say a cleaner is at a property and they notice that there is something wrong from a maintenance perspective. What do they do at that point? Obviously they let the host, their boss know, but if a maintenance person that they use is also within here, can they create work orders within the system?
Absolutely. So we have we called it a problem reporting feature. So they have a button in their mobile app that says report a problem. So for example, a broken door, some guests are wild. Broken door, broken bed, I don't know why they were jumping on the bed all night, but you can report a problem, and then the host gets a notification, hey, there's a problem, broken bed in this property. And then you can forward that problem to your maintenance person, and then they can go and fix it. The cleaner's probably not going to be able to fix your bed, so that needs to be escalated to a handyman or to the host themselves. So yeah, it's really kind of tightly integrated. This is part of operating this business, and like I said, managing by exception. This is the exception. This is really when you need to step in. You really shouldn't be scheduling cleaning, because that's automated. You shouldn't be paying invoices, because that's automated. You shouldn't be asking for pictures, because that's automated. So only if there's a problem, you should really be stepping in.
So the funny thing is, Annie always talks about this. You probably know where to go with that. We get a lot of people that we talk to that they are under that. They come into short-term rentals thinking that it is passive income, right? Probably like how you did, but they realize how difficult it actually is. But this app actually surely makes it that passive income, which I don't think that we've talked to any other supplier that actually does solve a lot of that it makes it possible, which is really cool because, from our standpoint, being in the business for so long, we know when you're running, large scale companies, there's a lot to it, and the cleaning is a big part of it. But this really simplifies things for the smaller size manager. What would you say is the typical client that's a host? Do they have one property, 5, 10? Do you have any numbers on that?
Yeah. So we serve people with one property, and we also serve companies with 1,000 properties.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yeah. So it really runs the gamut, and we try to build tools for people that have 1,000 properties.
Yeah. Wow.
Like the core and the origin is really supporting the little guy.
Well, the scalability was never it was just the technology was always being built for the larger people. So the smaller guys had to do everything sort of scrappy. And that's where I think a lot of really great innovations for our industry has come about, or people like yourself who started out and the enterprise software was just too expensive, too much. it was way more than you needed with a couple of units. And so it's that find a need, fill a need situation where, and a lot of these technology people like yourself were in the business and used your brain power for good, and created something amazing for the industry. So thank you for doing this. This is really, really great.
At one point, the name used to be Turnover B&B, and we were curious to hear the story on that. I think, was it sometime last spring that you rebranded to Turno?
So after too many times that I have misspelled my own company, when we started, we couldn't afford a 5-letter domain. We had to go for the $8 domain at the time. GoDaddy. And I think that name served us well initially, Turnover B&B, but we want to do things that are bigger. Over B&B was just a very descriptive, which is great, but also doesn't leave room for doing other things. So we're starting to do more maintenance stuff. Perhaps in the future we'll do things outside of the vacation rental space. So Turno, while being a very short, succinct name, really great domain, Turno.com, I think serves us well, as doesn't constrain our imagination of the things that we want to do and can do.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I remember when I heard about the rebranding, I was like, yep, that makes perfect sense. I think you've got a big runway for growth with that name to do a lot of different things. But tell us a little bit about the actual company, about your staff. I mean, your the corporate level staff, of how you've built this. Like, tell us about the journey of actually putting it together, the team, and
making it a reality.
Yeah.
It really is, one step at a time. Like when I started the company, I didn't have like an 8-year plan of how are we going to get to where we are today. It was kind of one step at a time and one opportunity at a time. And for the first year, it was just me and my business partner, Tim. We are co-founders. We went to business school together at the time and started the company together. So it was really, couldn't have done this without him. And I don't know, maybe he could have done this without me. I'm not sure.
I'm sure he'd say the same.
It's, I think it's really great to have someone to run with. You two work together and push each other and keep each other accountable and encourage one another and provide a sounding board. So this has been instrumental to be able to have someone to run with. I was in charge of kind of the technical side of it, and he's in charge more of the operations side of it, and we both kind of have like a mutual vision for the product. It was just the two of us initially, and then we hired one person and one more person, and as we had more traction and more funds, we're like, oh, could really use another developer, another customer service person, because initially we were everything. Like if you had a problem, you would go to the chat and you would talk to me, and then
Really? Oh wow.
You say, oh, I have a problem, this page is not loading. It's like, oh, hold on a second, let me fix it. I would go
You're building the code and chatting.
Nice.
That's a lot.
and you had a counter problem. I was like, okay, hold on a second. I would go log into the bank and check, and one-man show or two-man show. But that doesn't scale. Obviously, you find yourself, the more customers you have, like you can't provide customer service and develop the product. You're like, okay, hire a customer service person, let's hire more developers. And now we are about 150 people in the business. And it's great because we delegate, more and more of the day-to-day stuff so that we can focus more on the, the vision, and then also giving people direction and also managing by exception, right?
I love that.
When there's a problem, you step in and you solve it, and you run a business yourself, so there's never a shortage of problems to solve.
Yeah.
Opportunities.
Opportunities. That's
Opportunities.
right.
It's opportunities. It's not a problem. You're in the US and you said you're in international too. Like, how many countries are you in now?
So the product is used in probably every country. I don't know every country, but every country has,
every country where you can. Yeah.
So we provide localization for the app, meaning that you can use it in the interface is translated into Spanish, Portuguese, German, Italian, French, and I don't know, maybe there's another one I'm missing. but we might see add support for a couple more languages soon. But then people use the English version probably in other places where we're not localized.
Yeah, that's a big part of it too. I know a lot of the apps that I've seen, they might have Spanish, but most don't. And obviously that's a problem. I mean, people aren't going to use the apps, the cleaners or the personnel if they don't speak the language. So to fix right off the bat, but that's interesting.
The nice thing is you can have your app in English, and then if your cleaner speaks another language, then they can use another language. Maybe at some point we will provide kind of live translation, because we have a chat feature. You can chat with your cleaner, but currently like the chat content itself isn't translated. But maybe at some point we can add a feature where they can type in another language and you could read it in your language.
Well, if you're bored, I mean, if you've got nothing going on, since you're not handling service calls or anything with the app, you could do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually doable.
We'll interview you in 6 months and it'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be live.
That's our challenge for you.
Yeah. So here's a question. A lot of areas now have made it so that you have to have local boots on the ground, somebody that can get to the property within an hour as part of regulations. Does this solve that for people?
Sure.
That right there is a huge thing. I mean, you're actually, I don't know if you get involved much in advocacy, but I feel like what Turno is doing is also helping on that front as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about every specific bylaw in every location.
Yeah.
They just implemented in county that I live in where they had to have like a number posted where somebody could reach somebody and they could get somebody within 24 hours to 24 hours a day, they could reach somebody. So I think that for those operators that, again, aren't living in the market, you don't want to call when you're in Ohio and you can't be there.
Right.
You can't book a flight just on a whim like that. So I think that definitely is something that you could embed in the service or, talk to the cleaners about being that person, that contact person.
It's definitely something to look into, but I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's actually, Annie, I was just talking to somebody in 30A yesterday about that ordinance in your area. I think it's within an hour that they have to be there. But one topic that has come up recently that we're kind of diving into is the rise in co-hosts and true professional management companies, the legacy companies, that it's not really talked about a lot. And, how the ability to do that now is kind of a threat to some of these companies that these co-hosts are coming in and able to offer less of a commission, but be able to service the properties. And like it or hate it, it's the reality of things, right? I mean, the technology that's come out has just opened up a world of opportunities.
Our business is ever changing.
Yeah, it is. There's so much great tech that's coming out, and I feel like things have changed obviously significantly in the industry since when you started 6 years ago. So it's 6 years ago probably feels like forever ago to you guys. What's next for Turno? You mentioned that the brand has obviously more opportunities because of the name now, and you could do different things. Is there anything you can share for things that might be on the roadmap for 2024?
Yeah, I think we want to help hosts really be remote and passive as much as we can. So kind of adding more service providers with different kinds of services, outside cleaning, so that you can really just find everything you need in one place and have it all automatically scheduled in a seamless way.
That's great. Well, Assaf, it has been a pleasure chatting with you today and learning more about Turno. We're, again, so grateful and excited to have you as a sponsor for the podcast, and just excited to talk to some more of your clients that use the service. We spoke earlier about getting some of your hosts to come on and share their experience and just get to tell the true story of, it's always good to hear from the people that truly use it. And obviously you're the super user because you created it, but it's fun to tell the stories of the people that this is actually making their lives so much easier. And we're really looking forward to that.
Absolutely. So, we've made a special offer to your listeners.
Yes.
Maybe you can share with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So for listeners of the podcast, if you go to turno.com/offer/Alex and Annie podcast, and we'll put that in the show notes and then the links, you can get a $150 Amazon gift card just for signing up. So you can go in, check it out. Great way to get $150.
Sign up and complete your first project.
Yeah, they do have to have one project done.
Yes,
but
that's
yeah.
right. That's right. Yep.
It's
Yep.
still, it's a no-brainer. It's $150 to spend on Amazon, and who isn't doing that right now?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Assaf, how is the best way for people to get in touch with you if they're interested in reaching out and learning more?
Well, you go to turno.com. Like we said, 5-letter domain. Really love it. We have a chat function, like kind of on the bottom of the website, where we have 24/7 customer service that, humans, by the way, not AI.
Yeah,
Nice.
there we go. That's even better.
In multiple languages, and they'll be happy to help you with anything.
Great. Well, if anybody wants to get in touch with Annie and I, you can go to alexandanniepodcast.com. And thank you so much for chatting with us, Assaf. We will continue to track your journey this year, and just excited to share more stories about Turno and the success that you've had for hosts all across the world.
Thank you, Lydia. It really is a pleasure to be here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. See you next time.